Welcome back to BlastBoxx TV, folks. This is my next episode. I already recorded one just a few minutes ago. I like to do it. Record 2, maybe 3 in one sitting and go from there. Right now, I'm going to talk to you about a topic that I was going to leave for this episode about the WWE contracts and what they look like, shedding light on them today. Now, recently, Vince has been on the super tirade, banning people from using third-party apps and sites, stuff like that, TikTok, YouTube, all of that, Cameo, and people are getting shot, being outraged, and me and the probably minority of wrestling fans are laughing because we already knew some of this existed, we just needed a confirmation. Now, Vince, in these contracts, Vince has stated that he owns the people's likeness, the real name, stuff like that. And pretty much, from my point of view, that sounds like a slave owner mentality. And there will be people out there like Mark Henry, Booker T, Seth Rollins, all that stuff, which are defending the company, but don't be fooled by them. They're paid shields. Of course, they're going to stick up for the company. That's what dummies do. Now, Vince has been for the longest time being sheltered by his company by being, this is the best company in the world, blah, blah, blah. But yet, look how many people will come out just like the Good Brothers, just like Eric Young, EC3, all of them, and many people in the past that always said that Vince is having people walk on eggshells, or in Eric Young's case, he had to sit in the hallway for like 4 hours just to get to talk to Vince. And kudos to Eric. He was like, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not going to do this. So he knew that he was the wrong place to be. And I'm glad he left and went back to Impact, but he has a chance. Now, most of the other idiots, yes, I'm calling them idiots because down the line, at least one of them, if they might hear this, will leave the company, and sooner or later they're going to agree with me. But some of these idiots, they don't read those contracts very thoroughly, or they don't have their own lawyers with them. Sorry about casting the background. They don't have their own lawyers with them to look at these contracts and say, hey, is this legit? Can we alter this? Blah, blah, blah. But thing is, these people are so blinded by money and fame that they lose their damn respect for themselves just running after money for Vince. And those guarantees are not always guaranteed. Those promises are not always promises. But yet these idiots, yes, you wrestlers, y'all can bash me right now. You idiots sign these contracts, and right now you're like, I'm on top of the world. I'm wearing this title. But look how many people has won the NXT titles and come up to the main roster. How many of them have been successful on the main roster? How many? How many of them haven't been injured? How many of them have been on the main roster with healthy bill of health? They have to have a reconstruction surgery, or a knee surgery, or ankle surgery, or arm surgery, or Tommy John surgery. It's very few. Why? Because WWE is always running them into the ground. Now you can say, but that's the life right there. I can live with that. Really? Can you really live with that? Can you really live with that? Look at these contracts. Look at how much money these guys are making. But at the same time, is it worth it? But all this money can help me with my bills and stuff. No. That money is temporary. Your body is long term. You can get fired the next day, or the next year, or the next week. Just like the Good Brothers. They got raised, and what happened? They got fired. Mike Credoda, sorry for butchering the last name, but he was there for almost 35 years. He has raised. Guess what? He got fired. So you think, WWE is established, I'd be there for a long time? No, you won't. Vince is going to let you go for any number of reasons. You're going to be crying because you gave up what got you to the dance, and then when you got to the dance, you wanted to sit around and be like, shower me with love, blah, blah, blah. Just like I said in my other video, Ricochet is a perfect example. He did everything he could to get Vince's eyes on him so he can get to the league. Look at him now. He can say, and he can lie to himself and say, I'm happy because I'm doing this, but at least I'm on TV. You know what? Main Event's not even on TV. And if it is, it's on a crappy network or station. And people are like, you sound bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm not jaded. I'm not into stuff. I'm for wrestlers. I'm for independent contractors, like the people in Impact, the people in New Japan for the most part, Ring of Honor, Defy Wrestling, PWG, Shimmer, Shine, WSU, Pro Wrestling Eve, Pro Wrestling Noah, DDT, Bellatrix, which is Sweet Sarada's company, who's the mother of Paige. NWA, AAW, OVW, and there's plenty others out there. And there's plenty, and people can say, oh, but they not big time, blah, blah, blah. You know what? From what I heard from many veterans, they said, it's best to have at least 10, it's best to have 15 people watching you than 0. Because if you got nobody watching, you're not getting paid. Or you're going to get paid little. So people can say, oh, it's best to be in front of 10,000 fans instead of in the bingo hall. But hey, guess what? Even in that bingo hall, those fans get the best experience ever because they get up close to the wrestlers at meet and greets, at signing at the merchandise stands. You're not going to get that from the WWE wrestlers because all they're going to do is go out, do their little news, blah, 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 then go right back in the back and leave. You won't see them stand right there with you and take pictures. You won't see them having life stories told to you. People like Solo Darling, people like Evilise, people like Jessica Havoc, Nevaeh, Lufisto, Amber O'Neal, sorry, Amber, Widow Belmont, Sarah Stock, Xerxes, Lil Dark, Lady Shiny. All these people I'm naming are great women. And majority of them wrestle their asses off on the indie scene. On the indie scene, busting their ass. Hearing life stories about meeting them. Even if it's a little kid come up there crying, saying they're happy to see them, that's better than any paycheck out there. And I'm sorry if any wrestlers disagree with me, but the thing is, if you know you have fans looking up to you, you know you're going to work your ass off at the next show and the show after that. Put on the best show that you can. So when that fan sees you later on, rather they buy like DVDs or watch on YouTube, be like, hey, that's my favorite wrestler. I'm going to get into training. And then when I make it to where I'm at, I can always give praise to that wrestler for inspiring me. Then guess what? That wrestler going to inspire some fans come after them. Then they're going to look up to the original wrestler. And they're going to be like, oh, I like that wrestler too. And they share it to everybody. And guess what? They build up another following for that main wrestler. Now, I'm sorry if you think that what I'm saying is wrong, is incorrect, whatever it is. But you know what? I'm speaking from somebody that's seen it from all sides. I have friends who are wrestlers. I have friends who used to be wrestling. I have friends who are trying to start up a wrestling school. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I am not saying that everything that it is perfect. But if you don't look at those contracts and you get there and you're bitter and you're like, I want to get out this contracts. Like, for example, the Good Brothers, they said they signed the contract in that September, I believe it was, they knew they wanted to leave. Because, like, no, I know where this is going. You know what? They were right, but at the last minute. The only issue is they spoke to Triple H, the snake of the company. Oh, think of your kids, blah, blah, blah. You know what? You should never bring up another man's kids in any business discussion. And you think that's funny or that cute to happen, guess what, man? No, it ain't cute whatsoever. Because speaking out stuff, it only takes one, maybe two people to out Triple H with anything, and he's gone. But he's so protected, like Kevin Dunn and Pat Patterson, that it's nearly impossible unless you got some real good evidence, and not just China. And it's like these contracts, they don't read it, and it's like they own, it's like a slave mentality. They own everything about you, even your name. And if people are taking that to court, and the court says, you know what, that's kind of legal, guess what? That should be a wake-up call. Hey, WWE is running a slave plantation up there. let's not go there. And don't say AEW, because AEW, they can only have so many people on the rosters before they resemble to WWE or WCW back in the day. So if these wrestlers really want to show the craft, go outside of comfort zone. Go outside of these big three. And yes, Impact is on that list right behind AEW because they're still big. If you are a company with 2 or more national TV deals, whether it's in the United States or abroad, you are a big deal. They need to go to other places, start their own promotion, pull their money together to make their own promotion, stuff like that. But these new wrestlers are not doing it because they're too content. The old wrestlers bust their ass to get what they have to. Kirk Hawkins, he's opened his own wrestling school, I think with Pat Buck. I'm not sure, but I think he did open up his school, and he got reprimanded for that years ago because of that. Homicide, I think he got his own wrestling school. Al Snowball, OEW, and he created brands of AEW schools around the world. These new wrestlers, they're not thinking ahead. They're only thinking about one thing. Let's just get this money here and now. Then when they get old, like Kamala and all these other wrestlers, rest in peace, they have nothing. They know nothing because they haven't prepared for that day. Every time they get paid, they need to put some of that money aside, and because Vince is fickle, he'll fire you in a minute. But hey, man, I'm just a wrestling fan that got friends who are wrestlers, and I hear these wrestling stories. So, like, share, subscribe. I don't care. This is just me ranting because it needs to be said. This is BlastBoxx TV. Stay out of blast race. You might just get burned.